Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to PSGL. We are here for Season 30. It is F3, round number 1 of the Championship, as we take in the Portuguese Grand Prix from the Autodromo Internacional de Algarve. My name is James Hay, going to be taking you through the stream, as always, on a Monday night moving forward, as your F3 lead commentator. And joining me in the commentary box, fresh from F7 last season, it is Mr. Otaku Logan. Logan, how you doing?
Absolutely brilliant. I feel life has begun because, as I say, life begins at 30 again. But yeah, it's brilliant to be here. As you may have noticed, I have put quality over quantity this year. I did 3 leagues of commentary in PSGL. I thought, that's too much. So I'm just sticking to the one, and I am not alone. At last, there are no more lulls in the commentary, and we're sure to bring you the best of PS action with the F3 grid here tonight.
Of course indeed, and of course 9 tiers of action across pretty much the next 2 hours or so on the PSGL channel, so hopefully you are prepared for what I'm sure is going to be an absolute fantastic night. Let me run you through then. Of course, you might be wondering why we've started the stream a little bit early, and that's because we can run through everyone in terms of the grid, and I'm just trying to find if I can actually find it. There we go. I will run you through the constructors and the teams for this season, of course, for season 30 in F3. In the Mercedes, we have Jesus Cortez and Karem Demitas. In the Red Bull, we have Menno and Ron Zeus. In the Ferrari, we've got Dan Spreen, otherwise known as NRX Dan, and Shazoo Cameron Dowds. McLaren, represented by the Dutch Missile and Denzo. In the Alpine, it is Will Murdoch and Joey. In the Aston Martin, it is Isa Kush and a Rocker. In the AlphaTauri, we've got Lewis and Marcados. In the Alfa Romeo, we've got Batuksai and Isu. In the Williams, we've got Nuth and Trinity. And in the Haas, we've got DB19 and Rudy. And Logan, obviously, coming in tonight, looking at those 10 teams and that driver lineup that we have got, it is an absolute stacked grid.
Absolutely stacked indeed, James Head. You've got a couple of F2 drivers from last season. We have the reigning F4 champion, the name of DB19. Of course, he can't defend it because he's an F3 now. And of course, a lot of F3 namestays from last season. It is going to be one heck of a season, Jack. I can't wait to get started.
I'm James, by the way, not Jack. I think
Did I say? What did I say?
I think you said Jack.
Oh, I said Jack? I'm sure I said James. Never mind, James. Go on.
Anyways.
First race, we'll get through it.
Yeah, that is the first little slight glitch that we have had at the start of the stream. But, as we always like to say, start as we mean to go on. But looking at those teams, of course, I was speaking to Nuth yesterday. I was commentating on Nuth in a different league, and he was quite worried about DV19, of course, F4 champion last season, in the Haas alongside Rudy, his IFR teammate. And Nuth was worried about DV19 because Nuth is around 5-6 tenths per second off DV19's time, and DV19 apparently is towards the top end of the time trial leaderboards around here in Portimao. So, waits to see, of course, how that F4 form will be carried to F3, of course, with the top 5 or top 6 obviously competing in F3 this season.
Of course, yes, DV19 and Nuth were involved in a title scrap last season in F4 and are going to bring that battle to the F3 scene this season. Yes, Portimao is a very difficult track. If you have not done many laps around it, it is a roller coaster, quite literally. These drivers, as you said, with a little difference of time, 6 tenths, I think you said, and, you know, around all these tracks, there's 15 of them, you're going to have to be consistent around them all if you are to get all the marbles. James?
Yeah, definitely so, and obviously Portimao, one of my favourite tracks to commentate on, as you've already alluded to, of course, Logan. It is a very, very good track in terms of elevation change, especially that middle sector where, of course, you go through Craig Jones and then up towards the top of the hill at Portimao, of course, where the local village is pretty much located just on top of the hill. But it looks as if we're going to be getting going for PSGL Season 30 F3 here tonight. 19 drivers looking like they're going to be doing battle, of course, around the 33 laps of the Autodromo Internacional de Algarve. And it is a fantastic track to obviously commentate on. And Logan, obviously coming into tonight, I'm going to put you immediately under pressure. Who are you predicting for qualifying?
Oh man, this is going to be a really tough one. You know, you've got new drivers, you've got returning drivers like Joey, Will Murdoch. I am honestly not sure. Pretty early to tell. I'm going to go with a shot in the dark here. I am going to go for Cortez. He did very well in F3 last season. He got 5th with 61 points on the board. Big name in the Shizou team. I think he could be one to pull it off tonight, but I'm probably going to be super duper wrong because, of course, these guys have been away for a month. You know, Christmas is more important apparently. So, yeah, we'll see what happens here tonight. Back to you.
Yeah, definitely. So Cortez obviously is one of those drivers who was formerly part of Clean Vigor Racing, of course, QVR, now joining as part of the Shizou lineup. Same with the likes of Cameron Dowd, I suppose, recently joined Shizou away from Ecos. And he remembers only 12-year-old. I can see is actually his dad in the comment section there saying, let's go Cameron Dowd, go get him son. Of course, if you do want to show your support for your favourite drivers here tonight, or you just want to show support for us in the comment box, you could do that, of course. And you can also follow the action, all of the action across the YouTube platform, with 9 tiers live action pretty much here tonight in Portugal, in Portimao. The first cars, though, are leaving the pit lane, I should say, and it looks like it could be Menno, the first man out on track. And Menno, of course, part of Ecos, really good driver, of course, last season, competed in F3, and he'll be open, of course, to try and make an immediate impact, I would say, in this Grand Prix tonight.
Yes, he will. Let's just talk a bit about Portimao. This is a track that's only been on a couple of Formula 1 seasons. In fact, it first appeared in 2020 as a replacement. All the drivers are coming out very thick and fast indeed. But yeah, this is one heck of a roller coaster ride, as I have alluded to. 4.653 kilometers of track, that is measured around the middle, by the way. We are going to be doing 33 laps around here when it comes to the race. That's about 153.5 kilometers. Give or take a few meters. As we see, about half the grid is out on the track, some on soft, some on mediums. It's going to be interesting because the strategy is a bit quirky when you come to this track, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. Obviously, you want to try and get a good downforce set up, I think, especially through this final sector, because the final sector, obviously there's a lot of elevation change around this track, but this final sector in particular, coming through turn 15 at Galp, you can be caught out by the rise pretty much up the hill in towards turn number 1, and we'll ride on board now with Menno, of course, starting through the final corner, and that's what I was talking about, and he spins it on the curb coming through the final corner, but Menno, luckily, goes on to his lap time. Previous pole position, by the way, Devon set last time out in F3 a 1:16.2. Whether we'll see that, of course, tonight remains to be seen. Menno, though, coming through turn 2 and then through the right hand of turn 3, just missing the apex there slightly. But you've got to try and get the run now through turn 4, and that is beautifully done from Menno. He's looking quite quick through the end of the first sector. We should be expecting around a mid-21, I would say, in terms of the first sector. 21.8 is the first sector time for Menno. Now through Torre Vip at turn 5, and then up the hill in towards 6 and 7, and then in towards Samsung at turn number 8. And Menno doing a good job so far on this lap, taking it nice and steadily, I think. Doesn't want to try and light up the tyres too much. Now though, in towards Craig Jones at turn 9, and then in towards Portsmouth at the top of the hill in towards turn number 10. And Menno, of course, on the lap. Many drivers also on their laps as well, and a 51.5 for Menno through the middle sector. Of course, they changed the middle sector from earlier on in the game. It used to be after the point of turn number 12. Now, of course, it comes before turn number 12. Menno coming through though turn 14, and then in towards Galp corner at turn 15, and he's just invalidated coming on the exit at turn 14, which is absolutely typical. The first commentator's curse of the season, and it goes directly to Menno, who is now off a lap. I think the Ferrari of Dan possibly is coming through the final couple of laps. In fact, it's Cameron Dowd's coming through the final corner on the run to the line at a 16.5, so already we're 3/10 away from last season's pole position.
And DV19 could not match that, even on the same tyre. They're both on mediums, I should have mentioned. And there goes Cortez with 1:16.391 on the soft, I should allude to you. And, oh wait, that's the guy I predicted would be on pole. So I'm half right on one part. Stop the count, please. Joey RC and Isaac Kush crossed the line, but they cannot match Cameron Dowd's time. He is the pole position when it comes to medium tyres, James. Anyway, said Jack again. I think I'm watching old PSGL races. Stop it, James.
It's absolutely fine. Will Murdoch, though, to the line, had a really big snap of oversteers. Rudy comes to the line behind him, actually, and goes quickest. Will Murdoch, though, had a real snap coming out of Portimao at turn 10. A 1:17 flat, really not judged by that lap time at all. He'll be hoping, of course, to try and improve on his lap time. Lewis, there, is invalidated. Nuth as well on a lap, just starting one, in fact, coming through turn 1. And Nuth, of course, was champion in F4 last season, and the Williams will be hoping for more results here tonight, of course, teaming up with TTG Trinity, as some of you might know, of course, otherwise known as Black Phoenix. And Black Phoenix, of course, and Trinity will be hoping for a very good result here tonight. And of course, in terms of Nuth's form last season, best results were shown at the French Grand Prix, the Mexican Grand Prix, and also here in Portugal.
Yes, indeed. I'd just like to correct you on one thing. Last season's champion was actually DV19, not Nuth, but Nuth won it the season before, season 28. Won it with 2 rounds to go, round 8 of 10. Thanks to a bit of luck, and I was commentating that in Japan. It was a Izat puncture. Sorry to bring it up to you again, Izat. He is here tonight. You got a puncture on the penultimate lap in the S's, and Nuth held on to win the race and not have to worry about the championship. He was well clear at the time, but he clinched it there. So pretty much all the drivers, most of the drivers have done their lap. Dutch Missile just went on board with has failed to set a time, but his teammate coming up behind him, Denzo, approaching turn 5 now, gets a nice entry into the turn. It's a purple sector. I'm not sure about that. Sometimes it is a bit glitchy when it comes to the fastest lap. Sometimes it shows, when it even is not the fastest lap, it shows up as purple.
Yeah, they showed up as purple indeed. Denzel, though, with 6 minutes ago, 6 minutes gone, I should say, in the qualifying session. He's on the lap, of course, the IFR man, relatively new, I think, to the realms of PSGL, of course. The Chilean will be hoping for a very good result here tonight, and he's coming through the end of the middle sector there with a very good middle sector. Purple showing, though, it is always indicative, I think, the purple middle sector. We don't have access to the task system, of course, here in F3, but if we did, we would be trying to run you through in terms of best first, middle, and final sectors. Denzel coming around the final corner onto the line. This is going to be quickest of the night so far. Denzel to the line, 16.2, a tenth ahead of Rudy, and that matches the pole position from last season.
Oh, well, how interesting is that? Let me just check, actually. Yes, it is exactly the same as Devon's time last season, and Devon's probably going to go faster because he's in F2 this season. It's just as happening at the same time with Owen Wyatt and Jessica Ball in the commentary box. Hello to you if you're just watching this, you two. Absolutely fantastic commentators just like ourselves. We only have the best commentary team here at PSGL.
We do indeed. I think, honestly, we were saying just before we came live, of course, how each and every commentator here in PSGL wants to deliver the best for the streams, the best for everyone, of course, that is tuning in. And that really is it. PSGL is an absolute family at the end of the day, and we are absolutely privileged to be in this position. Of course, this is my first full season commentating on PSGL. You, of course, did F7 last season, Logan, and obviously I came into it from the PSGL Esports Cup event. Dutch Missile, however, looking above with his lap, he's looking quite quick here. 51.1 through the middle sector. Of course, the McLaren of Denzo, his teammate, is on pole position currently, but I expect the drivers will improve on their lap times as the session progresses. Dutch Missile, though, coming through Galp at turn 15, gets caught really on the inside curb nicely. This could be even quicker than Denzo. On the run to the line, Dutch Missile, 15.8, and that is how you make a statement in PSGL F3 in Season 30. Dutch Missile out on top. I did say drivers would improve, didn't expect it that quickly. He's 4 tenths ahead of Denzo. Flyer a lap from Dutch Missile. Inevitably, I think drivers are going to probably improve beyond that.
Yeah, he absolutely smashed the lap record out of the park, and now, just like Monza last year in the real world, it's a McLaren 1-2 with just nearly half the session complete. As we can see, better size on a lap right now. I should also mention, Dutch Missile did it on 2 lap old tiles. He had his first lap time deleted for going off the track, and as I say, that better size has invalidated his lap. Lewis is on a lap right now. I think DV19 is coming around the final corner now. He's faster than he was last time. He's got Cortez there as a tow, which isn't allowed, but I don't think he's going to get it. And he gets P3, our reigning F4 champion, who's just recently been promoted, making his mark here in F3. James?
Yeah, definitely. So, in terms of the slipstream, by the way, DV19 did get a slipstream of Cortez. However, Cortez was starting up on his lap, and he was literally just there. Probably didn't realise the driver behind, so I think there was no intention in that at all. And Cortez, through the first sector, is actually a 10th up on his time, so he'd be looking to try and improve, of course, the Shizuman. Izza, by the way, has gone second. The other Aston Martin out on track alongside Rudy, of course. Izza there second, and now Joey goes up to second. So we're beginning to see the drivers begin to improve in their terms of their lap time. But Dutch Missile's lap time, I've commented on him in TTML F1 and he wasn't that quick. Here in PSGL F3, probably against his own driving standard, he is quickest of the bunch so far, 2.5 tenths clear of Joey in second, Izza there in third, and I've got to say, it is all to play for as Lewis has had a moment coming at the top of the hill through Portimao.
All to play for is an understatement. It's going to be hell for leather in the final few minutes of this session. Good to see Joey up there, who has been away from PSGL for a while due to, let's say, some controversial circumstances. But with a little help from a famous face, he's back here tonight, as he is already made his mark with a 1:16.0. So 3 drivers currently beating the lap record from last year, which was, of course, the first time we ever had it, because the first time he appeared in the game. It was the 9th round of the season. So pretty much then, they didn't have much background information. Now, they've got a lot after seeing all the drivers doing this last season. Of course, not all the drivers here were in the last race. Of course, some of them from F4, as we can see. A few of the drivers starting their laps again. Denzo trying to improve on his then equaling lap record. It's not anymore, of course, as we can see. Another driver into the line. Who is that? Is Rudy, and he goes into the 115s as well, but is half a tenth behind and some. So he's going to have to put in an extra bit of oomph if he wants to get that pole off the Dutch Missile. James?
Yeah, definitely. So Rudy, of course, there in second, 15.8. He's around 500 to the second off in terms of Dutch Missile's time. But that was a really neat lap, I've got to say, especially through that final sector. We rode on board with him through that final sector, and the Aston Martin looked very, very clean and very, very quick on that lap time. So inevitably, if he shoes up his first and middle sectors, he might go on to provisional pole as we go through the session. Denzo, by the way, is also on a lap. He's coming through the middle sector now, and he's 3 tenths up on his lap time. So the Chilean will be hoping for a very good run now, coming through the left-hander. 13 gets caught on the curb slightly, nearly spins the car around. There's an improvement. I think Nuth has gone up to 5th, so good improvement from him. As now Denzel coming out towards Galp at the final corner. Is he going to try and improve on this lap? I think he might try and come into the pit lane here. He wasn't happy with that run, but he is going to now run to the line, and it's a 16.1. That could have been a lot quicker, that lap. Denzel there in 7th. He'll be hoping to try and improve towards Dutch Missile and Rudy area. If he didn't make that mistake, he probably would have been 3rd.
Yeah, he probably would have been, but he has improved, but not in terms of position, as we see some of the drivers coming back into the pit lane. There's a bit of a lull in the session right now. I do not see anyone that has not set a lap. In fact, actually, no. I thought I saw someone there, but it's actually wrong.
No, he did.
Oh,
Metiu's gone 3rd in the Mercedes, of course, filling in for one of the other Mercedes, of course, tonight. And that is, if I just confirm that was Karem, of course, not making it tonight. Yeah, Metiu, though in 3rd. Very good driver in TTG Esports. Totally not affiliated to this team at all. But Metiu there in 3rd. 15.9. Very good lap time from him. And, of course, his nearest rivals, of course, from the same team as him, Nuth, and, of course, Trinity, further down the field. Nuth there in 6th and Trinity all the way down in 17th, with Patuksai, the only other driver, not to have set a lap time, but I think he's on one now, coming through in towards Samsung at turn 8.
Yes, he is. DV19 also on a lap of soft tyres. Now, some of them changing from mediums to softs, including Cameron Dowds, who set his initial time on mediums, as Isso gets onto the board with a 1... Actually, I've got the wrong settings. Hold on. He set a 1:16.536, so a little slower than Cameron, but of course he's going to be heading out again, is Cameron. Yeah, DV19 making his mark. Who is coming to the line now? I think that is Betusai. Yes, Betusai coming to the line. And it will be a 15th best time, just slotting behind his teammates.
Yeah, he does there in 15th position. The Alfa Romeo doing a good job. Will Murdoch there in 16th as well. He's yet to improve on his time, of course, 16.6. And more famous for us, Cameron Dowds, by the way, setting the timing screens alight. He is 6/10 up in the middle sector. Purple out of everyone, and he's a sub 51 through the middle sector as well. For being 12, he's looking very quick. Cameron now coming through the right hand of 14, and then in towards Galp at turn 15. This could steal Dutch Missile's pole position with 4 minutes to go in the session. Cameron now on the run to the line, and it is pole position for now, 15.7. He improves a 10th on Dutch Missile's time. Great lap from him. He actually derated as well, coming through the final corner. But Cameron Dowds out on top. The Yazoo man, of course, joining from Ecos earlier on last year. And Cameron now up to the top step of the podium so far in qualifying, with Dutch Missile and Rudy, of course, filtering through and behind. But still, a lot of improvements to come, with the Rocker just joining the session. So we might be up to full complement of 20 drivers.
Yes, indeed. 3.5 minutes to go, and Cameron Dowds, who I'd just like to mention, we're probably nearly double the age of him. It's crazy to think that. And shout out to his dad. He must be really proud right now of him just setting the top time into this session, and he could put in more. I think he might have time for another run if he can get his act together. Oh, what happened?
Isra Spun coming at the top of the hill at turn 8, just got too greedy on the curb on the inside. He wasn't a good lap up until that point, and the Indonesian driver, of course, there in 7th position. He is behind Joey for now, so a bit of a spin there from Isra. Luckily, I think he's got enough time to try and get another lap in.
Yes, I must mention the only driver to set a lap yet is Lewis. He's coming around the final corner now. He's already done 1 lap on this tyre. His initial run wasn't validated, so here he goes. This is pretty much his maybe second to last chance if he can actually sneak another lap in on these, but he would probably be very worn out on the tyres. Oh, and Oroka has had more problems trying to get into the session again. It doesn't look like he will be seeing him tonight, which is a real shame because I'm guessing he wanted to race after all this winter break stuff. You know, he's been preparing all these practice hours, and it's just the worst luck.
Yeah, it's a shame for the Frenchman, obviously. Of course, Oroka being part of Team Mentalism. I obviously commentated quite a few times on Oroka in the PSGL Esports Cup event, and he is a very quick and consistent driver. Unfortunately, I think he joined late, and he's rejoined, obviously, in qualifying as well, so that might be against the rules here in PSGL. We'll have to double-check that, of course. Cameron Dowds, though, out on top, Dutch Missile second, Rudy in third. As you were mentioning, Lewis is on a lap. He's purple in the middle sector. Definitely not purple in terms of everyone we've seen so far tonight. He's around 8/10 down on this lap so far compared to Cameron Dowds, so he's going to be filtering around Cortez, Ron, Isu sort of area, I would imagine. And now he comes through Galp in towards turn number 15 as Oroka rejoins the session once again. Lewis out there through the final corner in the AlphaTauri on the run to the line, and he goes pretty much where I expected him to go. He's behind Isu, there in 15th position, 16.5, and I think that's his final run as well, so I don't think he will get an improvement. Somebody that is improving, though, Will Murdoch, coming out through Galp at turn 15, on the run to the line, of course. Is he going to try and go pole position? He doesn't. He goes 8th, though, with a good lap time, and he's only 1,000th of a second off Izza, and 5,000 ahead of Nuth, who was improving through the first sector.
Just like to mention, Joey thinks he's done enough. He's retired in the pit lane. Well, I think he's run out of time to do any more laps. Cameron Dowds just went on for another attempt, though. He might get to the line in time. I think he will get to the line in time. Trinity having a bad day at the office. He's invalidated again. He's got one last chance to fulfill his potential. Remember, he got 2nd place in PSGL F4 PlayStation last season, so he really wants to up the ante here in F3. Now he's went into the pit lane. He's retired. He is retiring from the session. A disappointing start to Trinity's debut in F3.
Nuth goes 6th as well, just right on board with his lap there, 15.9. Good lap time from him. DV19's coming through the end of the first sector as well. Cameron Dowds is already through the end of the first sector, I think, as well. We'll come on board with him in just a second. But DV19 is 800 up through the first sector. Cameron Dowds, in fact, is the other Ferrari coming through towards the end of the first sector. And he's 1200 up on his time as Rudy goes 2nd. So good improvement by Rudy. Limited improvement, I've got to say that. Only 600th improvement, but he goes up to 2nd. Good lap time, of course, from the Dutchman. Matthew there in 4th as as well, and he looks like he's furthest on in terms of the main contenders. So we're right on board with Mathieu, now on the run down in towards turn number 13, the left-hander now coming up, and then through turn 14. He's looking quick on this lap. He's really got to try and find the time, though, in this final sector, and he won't because he's just invalidated out of turn 13.
Dan crossed the line, but he cannot get any faster. But meanwhile, Cameron Dowd's trying to set the bar even higher, but he is slower than he was last time. In the second sector, he comes through the final few corners now. It's a very tricky one, a penultimate corner here at Portimao. Now the final run through, this flat-out final turn. Can he set the bar even higher for his rivals? He comes across the line, and it is much better. 1:15.678. Can it be topped, James?
I don't think it can. Marcados is coming through the final corner. He's on the run to the line. He doesn't even improve, and I think that is it for qualifying because Nuth is not on lap either. It is Cameron Dowd on pole position, and as Mr. PSGL F1 himself has just put in the comment section, great lap by Cameron. It could take some beating. He even went quicker. It has taken some beating, and obviously he's a 10th and a half clear of Rudy. Dutch Missile there in third, but Cameron Dowd's already stamping his authority here in qualifying.
Yes, indeed. The one thing has to be said, James, the kids are all right.
The kids are all right indeed. The Ferrari, of course, pretty much bookending the field as well. Down there, down in 18. Disappointing, of course, from both Ferraris, but Cameron on pole position. Very good lap time from him. Rudy there in second, Dutch Missile on third. I'm looking further down the field, and Lucas just pointed out actually in the comment section as well. Less than 400ths of a second off F1 pole last season, which is incredible, I've got to say, from the standard of drivers that we've got here in PSGL F3 this season. And I really hope that you are going to be tuning in for F1 later on while he is here, Mr. Luke Etheridge. I know he'll be wanting me to try and self-promote the stream for him. PSGL F1 is after this, of course, at 8 PM UK time, and it's himself and Aidan Carter taking you to the action, of course, for that one. But as I've got the session ending in 30 seconds, apparently, hopefully, I'll be able to see the grid. Have you got the grid up by any chance?
Yes, I do. Cameron Dowd in first, Rudy in second, Dutch Missile third, DB19 fourth, Mathieu Nuff will make up the third row, Joey is at the fourth row, Will Murdoch Marcados the fifth, Dizzo Menno the sixth, Cortez and Ronzus the seventh, Izu and Lewis the eighth, Betusai and Dan the ninth, and on the last row on his own, unless Otoxi or whatever his name is, joins the grid, will be Trinity in 19th.
Yeah, Rocco will be starting from the back of the grid, of course, if he is to rejoin the session. I can see his name on the right-hand side, so it looks like he has managed to rejoin. Hopefully it doesn't cause any issues in terms of the lobby glitches that we have seen across the games, to be honest, across different leagues. I've certainly had my fair share of commentating and trying to fill the time persistently in terms of the lobby glitches, but hopefully we won't have that tonight. It is beautiful blue sky and sunshine once again here at the Autodromo Internacional de Algarve, and for the Portuguese Grand Prix here at Portimao, it is going to be absolutely fantastic. Of course, can Cameron win from pole position? And his dad has just literally said in the comment section as well, his goal is for F1 esports by the age of 16.
F1 esports by the age of 16, that is when they allow them, don't they? And we know we have younger drivers in this division like Jake Benham. Well, not in this division, but in this league proper. Jake Benham is probably the #1 driver to catch if your name is not Yarno. Absolutely brilliant talent. Of course, if you saw in the other league last night, he was disqualified by a very unfair technicality. But, you know, that is sport. It is cruel. So yes, the Portimao track, what I love about Portugal is the lovely Mediterranean breeze and the nice sunny days. It's just an amazing place to be. This track, in fact, cost £195 million and it only took 7 months to build. It opened in 2008, has been used for MotoGP, World Superbikes, Formula 1 testing and some GP2 races, I do believe, as they come down the straight and down the what is it called, the ditch. Aroka has not started his car, I'd just like to mention. He's just sitting there. That's not a good sign.
He's just sitting there, but Yeah, it might be actually the case where Arocca is just waiting for the guys to rejoin, obviously, on the grid when they make through their formation up. I think it might be a good tactic, because obviously Arocca's going to be sitting there quite a way on the grid, but he'll let the rest of the 19 cars down, and hopefully it will minimise, of course, any glitches that we might have, of course, within the lobby, if that does come to pass. Top 10, however, qualifying on that to the soft compound tyre. Everyone else has gone for the boring one-stop strategy and gone for a set of medium compound tyres, and around a track like this, Logan, of course, tyre wear is absolutely crucial. So just how hard is it going to be on these tyres?
Very hard indeed. Of course, we've had some races before where, you know, the strategy has changed because of a safety car. Please ignore that. It should be a one-stop. I see a two-stop strategy, but I do think you can pull off the one-stop. If you feel like softs are getting uncomfortable, you can always pit early, but that will come at the risk of wearing your tyres even sooner should you get onto them in the pit. But yes, very interesting strategy race here at Portimao as Cameron Dowd's making his final few corners before he gets to the grid. I'm excited for this, James. It's been a long, cold winter, and finally we're going to return to action in its milestone 30th season of PSGL. I can't wait.
I cannot wait either. Of course, the guys are now rejoining on the track. You can just see in the background the fans. Looks like they're having a really good party, I've got to say, in the background, coming through the final corner. They're just a little bit ghosted and glitching there almost as it starts again. Yeah. But Cameron Dowd's on pole position, Rudy there in second. Arocca, by the way, in the chat saying that he might have to leave the session. He didn't put a setup on, and it looks like his screen is completely frozen. So that's why Arocca was frozen on the grid, and you can see his car on the right-hand side. And yeah, he's being pushed around by the AI by the look. So hopefully we are going to get a first time start. If not, we're going to be having a lobby restart, which is not too bad at all, because we can just talk for hours and hours on end.
Guys, I've never seen this before. In all the commentary I've done, and he's resetting to the grid. Okay, so we are going to get underway.
I've seen this. I've seen this in Austria before, and obviously Arocca he's now left the session. But that's just going to cause a complete glitch. So I've seen this in Austria before. I commentated on Austria last week, and it's exactly the same as what happened here. The driver's got to basically go through another formation lap to rejoin the grid, and then it resets itself, of course, and then we should be good to go, hopefully out on track. Otherwise, we're just going to see a Haas for the next minute and a half until we go through, maybe with a lobby restart. I'm just looking at the comment section in Discord. We are literally getting through. It has glitched the lobby, and we might have to have a restart potentially here. I'm just trying to see what everyone's doing out on track. Of course, tyres will be obviously losing temperature. Of course, they're stone cold now on the track. They'll be losing temperature, and I'm just trying to see what is going to be happening, because I think it's all dependent, as Dan has left the session. It looks as if we're going to be getting a restart. Yeah, Dan has just confirmed it in the Discord. We're going to be getting the restart. Oh, season 30, and this happens just before the start of the Grand Prix. So whatever you're going to see on my screen, by the way, it's not the Grand Prix. Probably get a cup of tea in the meantime, come back in around 5 minutes time, and we should be good to go.
Yeah, everyone's left the session. My screen is gone.
Oh, the Grand Prix is...
Excuse me, what? Yeah, we're definitely restarting. Some drivers are just being disqualified for reversing off the start line. Their cars are just flying over the place.
You can come out the lobby, by the way. That's what I've done. I've just come out the lobby, and obviously they will see. I've had a friend request from Markadors, which is quite interesting. I can't go blue screen, obviously. Yeah. Which is very nice indeed. Hopefully, it might be the case where obviously we get invited a little bit later than getting the drivers in. Of course, from qualifying, if anybody does want, of course, how the grid order came in qualifying, let me run you through it now while we've got a bit of time. Of course, it was Cameron Dowd's on pole position. I'm just trying to wind back so far on the stream that I can actually see it. And it was... Oh no, I couldn't see it because I glitched. But Cameron Dowd on top, Rudy in second, Dutch Missile in third. And looking at that top three, Logan, of course, Cameron was nearly 2/10 ahead of Rudy. Rudy was around 500ths of a second, I should say, ahead of Dutch Missile. And those three just seemed to dominate the session, really.
Yeah, they did. It was like a game of turnabout at the top of the table, but it was very interesting to see. But of course, Cameron just managed to stay at the top. And of course, we said he put a great time out on mediums and could show what he could do on the softs. But of course, with that means a great reset now. Of course, that means fresh softs and mediums for everyone. Actually, fresh softs. The mediums only apply to the bottom 10 because they didn't fall in the top 10. They get to use fresh tyres. So yes, it actually gives the advantage to the drivers up in the top 10 because they don't have to worry about their used softs. It's going to be fresh ones.
Yeah, it is going to be fresh ones, of course, indeed, and obviously that takes away the disadvantage of really on starting on warm tyres, essentially, on that set of softs, and also, with that, will come the chance of drivers, if there's, of course, safety cars or VSCs during the race, we will get a scenario where, obviously, the drivers will basically have a better, more choice of tyres than actually necessary within qualifying. So that's going to be quite interesting as well. But hopefully, as I said in the comments, we will be getting going very soon. Indeed, we are just waiting on the invites to be sent out. And hopefully, as soon as that happens, we will be good to go. Of course, Grid Editor is there. If you want to try and take, of course, I'm going to send, by the way, Dan, the grid for the order. So if you want to try and keep the views entertained, Logan, well, I'll just do that. It'll be fantastic.
Alright, evening everyone, how is it going? Anything interesting happened today?
Nothing's interesting happened on my end, certainly, I can definitely confirm that, but hopefully, as I say, we're going to be getting going very soon indeed. I'm going to just drop a message into Dan and just send him the grid order. I'm probably sure he's already aware what the grid order is, but I'd rather just him... basically me send it through and then he's got it literally in front of him so we can get it started a little bit quicker and hopefully make up some of the time that we've lost from the grid. But of course, Portimao, one of these tracks where, Logan, it is going to be absolutely crucial in the start you get because that run down in towards turn 1, that run down basically in towards turn 1, it's such a big run, you can try and get the run down in towards turn 1, but if you're on the inside line, you might just get caught up on the curb given how, of course, the corner comes basically off camber if you're on the inside line.
Yes, it is a very unorthodox corner, but you know what? Unorthodox doesn't mean it's bad, it always means it's so much fun. And you know, you've got all these weird and quirky corners like Eau Rouge. I think you should have experience in expecting it the unexpected when you come to these kind of tracks. You know, it is one of those tracks that can produce some incredible racing if you can keep your foot on the throttle.
Yeah, definitely so. I've just gotten my invite into the lobby once again, so we should be ready to go very soon indeed. Hopefully the grid order will come. Marketos is very serious in terms of sending me a friend request, which is very nice indeed. Hopefully we are able to join the lobby. I'm in, certainly. I hope you're in as well, Logan. Maybe a restart of game, perhaps? Just in case?
Yeah, I'm not getting in right now.
You're not getting in. Just restart your game. It should be fine. It should just fix itself, obviously, when you restart the game. Arocca, by the way, is in the... Yeah, Arocca, by the way, is in the session as well. So Arocca, taking that second Aston Martin seat, of course, he'll be hoping to try and get on the score sheet, of course, starting right from the back of the grid in 20th position. And with him joining the lobby now, of course, it does mean that we've got a full complement of 20 drivers for you here tonight in Portugal. It is clear weather by the looks. It looks like the race was going to be quite clear in terms of the weather, which is very good indeed. 33 laps, of course. It means we're going to get only the formation lap and, of course, the actual race, because qualifying is already done and the grid order is probably going to be set in the next few minutes or so. We can just ramble on, I think, until that point, until obviously the session restarts. May I invite you, though, while you've got this opportunity, to have a look at some of the other action of PSGL here tonight. That is, of course, PSGL F2. That is also live. Jessica Ball and Owen White taking you through the action, and I'm going to drop in there myself to see what is actually happening in terms of the race that is probably ongoing at this moment in time, and I'll update you on what is happening in F2. It is Valentin leading the way, Baraka second, Kazisel in third, Ablaze. Looks like there might have been a little bit of a desync glitch between Ablaze, so not sure where he is out on track, but Valentin leading the way, Baraka in second, Kazisel in third, and still looking quite competitive, because I'm looking top 8 are in a DRS train and the rest of the field are a little way behind that.
Yeah, I remember Kazisel had rotten luck last season. He was involved in, I think, 2 crashes, very unfortunate crashes, and then was disqualified in Britain for absolutely stupid reason, passing the safety car while he was going into the pit. I think there should be an exception to the rule. He's not really gaining any advantage if you're going into the pits pitting. Well, I mean, who else can you... I mean, yeah, you can slow down at least because, you know, don't pass the safety car. But then again, come on. It's just... The British pit lane is very unorthodox. It doesn't go in from the last corner. It comes from, like, the third to last corner. It's just not fair sometimes. But yeah, it's good to see Kazizel getting into the mix of things with Valentine and Baraka and Cohen and all this all-star lineup here in F2. That's on right now as well. Remember, F1 is on at 8 o'clock with Luke Etheridge at the wheel. Well, I mean, doing the commentary, that is, at the mic, I should say. But yes, very interesting happenings in F2. We've just mentioned that F3 is, F3 is not having a good time. I think F3 has caught the plague, as we'd say.
Yeah, unfortunately, so obviously lobby glitches do happen. It's just the cards that were dealt in true George Morgan fashion of saying that. It is just the cards that we are dealt. We can only run with basically what we've got in front of us. It's simple as that. And obviously these drivers will have to now refocus in terms of their mental approach. And Logan, as a driver at this stage in the Grand Prix, what would you be thinking, obviously, going into, obviously, a restarted lobby? Will you be trying to refocus in terms of trying to get that mentality sorted and then focus just on the task in hand, of course, in the race?
I don't know, honestly, because, you know, you have an extra lap of softs, and you can adjust your strategy, which isn't much of a problem at all, but, you know, it just gets into your head, and you don't want everything getting in your head, because you're trying to focus on the driving. If you focus on the driving, you're probably going to get the results you want, and, you know, it gives you, the restarting time gives you time to clear your mind, forget everything that happened in qualifying, and at least give it your best shot.
Yeah, definitely. So, as you can see on the screen, we are now beginning to get going once again for the Autodromo Nacional de Algarve, the Portuguese Grand Prix. Take 2, everyone. Hopefully, it is the second take that we're going to be having, and hopefully it's the final take we're going to be having, of course, in terms of getting the race underway, pretty much in and around the sort of time. We have got a rocker in the lobby, as I say, so 20 drivers now awaiting us out on track, and 33 laps awaiting these guys out on track, around a circuit, of course, Logan, that is very familiar for a lot of track elevation and a lot of tyre wear, possible problems, of course, in terms of punctures towards the end.
Yes, I remember I believe, Japan, which is pretty much just like this, except it's a figure of 8, and it's in the east of the world. And there were a lot of punctures at the end of the race. Tyre strategy is crucial. Probably more crucial than going fast. Of course, you want to make the moves, but the tyre strategy probably is the one that counts the most here at Portimao. So, best of luck, all of you.
Yeah, best of luck indeed, and obviously drivers will be hoping for a brilliant result. Hopefully we're not going to be seeing the sorts of driving standards that we would have normally in a first race. Of course, first race back, normally the driving standards are a little bit unclean. Hopefully we don't get that. These F3 guys have been put on notice, certainly by me, in the Discord earlier on, by saying hopefully that they deliver in terms of a very clean race. And we're about to get underway once again, of course, the formation lap, and the 33 laps of the course await us out on track. And of course, it'll be interesting to see. Looking at Cortez, certainly, he's gone into a set of hard compounded tyres, so it'll be very interesting to see if drivers have decided to change their strategy as a result. And unfortunately, though, it looks like it was a little bit of a ploy, because Cortez is on a set of mediums, everyone else is on the same tyre that they obviously qualified on. If, of course, you were starting out inside the top 10, of course, if you're starting outside the top 10, you're on a set of mediums, and you've seen something?
This is wrong. Why is Rudy in a Haas? That's not right, is it?
I think it is. I think him and DV19 are in the Haas.
What is going on with Rudy? He's on my screen. He is in the gravel trap and getting pushed around. I don't understand.
On my screen, it's absolutely fine. He's going through turn 7 and then through turn 8. I think we're having a little bit of a spectator glitch, perhaps, here tonight. We might have to go into a radio commentary for a little while. But Cameron on top, Rudy in second, Dutch Missile in third. Top 10, as I say, qualifying on that set of soft compounded tyres. Everyone else on that set of mediums. and Rudy is going around on track. I can definitely prove that, and the predicted pit stop strategy has actually just came up on my screen. Mediums to hards, lap 14 to 17. If you want a 2-stop though, lap 10 to 13 onto another set of softs, and then around about lap 20 to 23, I think that was, onto a set of medium compounded tyres. But as I always like to say in my streams, never trust the AWS graphics on this game, because normally drivers pit in either earlier or later compared to the graphic.
Yeah, don't trust Amazon. Yeah, I think there was probably a glitch on my end. This isn't really supposed to happen. And I do like to correct myself. I asked myself, why is Rudy in the Haas? He should be in a Haas. Apparently he was in the wrong car in qualifying. He was in the Aston Martin, which was supposed to be a Roca. But they have fixed that now, thankfully.
Yeah, I think Rudy didn't choose his car, if I'm not mistaken, in qualifying, and that's why he's now being put in the Haas. Obviously, he'll be counted. There's obviously no points for qualifying, which is good, so he will count, of course, as a Haas. The final cars are rejoining, though, on the grid. And Logan, I'm going to ask you for the first time this season, who's your top three?
Oh my gosh, if Cameron Downs keeps his head together, he could get the #1 spot on the podium. Rudy on my screen is stopped in the middle of the track on my screen. I don't know why that's happening. Alright, I think it should fix itself.
Yep, the 5 red lights are going out here in PSGL. Season 30 about to get underway, and it is lights out and away we go, and Cameron Downs gets a very good stop, but it's not as quick as Rudy, and Rudy might have the run down in towards turn 1. Look at the McLaren and Dutch Michel going all the way around the outside, but it's Cameron that leads through turn 1. Rudy in second, Dutch Michel on third. There's contact further down the field. Izza, Lewis, Matthew, a Rocker, all caught up in collision coming out of turn 1, and already that Constantine effect has happened, and already we've got the first VSC of this season. Cameron Downs leading the way, Rudy there in second, Dutch Missile in third. Absolute carnage further down the field. Our Rocker's already at the race, and we've got a full safety car towards the end of lap 1 already. Oh, we haven't even been going 30 seconds, and we've got a safety car. As Cortez and Denzo have a 5-second penalty for colliding into each other on the run down in towards Torre Vip.
What is going on? I have a lot of problems with this stream right now. Yeah, Aroka, real shame for him. He's just got in and he's just been knocked out, not even half a lap complete. On my screen, it saw Rudy is in 19th. Is that right or wrong?
Rudy is not in 19th position. He's in second on my screen, so obviously it might be the case where you might have to restart your game again, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm going to have to restart my game again. It says Denzo's off the track as well.
Yeah, that is definitely a glitch, I think, on your end. If you get your, obviously, I'll commentate while you go, and I will obviously keep
I will restart the game.
Yeah, keep the viewers entertained.
I do apologise, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, keep the viewers entertained. Obviously, these problems do happen, and obviously, it is already played, it seems, here. Dutch Missile looks like he was going to try and do coming in towards the pit lane. Now he doesn't. Cortez and Denzo, however, are in. So they're both into the pit lane, either with damage, or they're going to be coming in to serve up their 5-second penalty. And they're going to choose, obviously, a new front wing. In Cortez's case, he's going to have a new front wing applied. And also Denzo, I think, is going to have a new front wing applied as well. But coming out on top, Rudy in second, Dutch Missile on third. Everyone else, actually, who was caught up in that collision, the likes of Marcados, Lewis, Matthew, and Izza, all caught up in that collision. They're also into the pit lane to repair front wing damage and also to put on a new fresh set of tyres. Marcados and Matthew, in that case, going from a set of soft compounded tyres onto a different set, and if you're the AlphaTauri of Marcados, you've lost your front wing completely, which is unfortunate, of course, for him, and he'll be coming right down from the back of the field. He's onto a set of mediums, luckily getting that front wing repaired, but certainly the safety car will be out for a minimum of 2 laps. It is Cameron Dowds, though, out on top, Rudy in second, Dutch Missile on third, and for the first time in season 30, we have the safety car here in F3.
May you send me an invite, please? I can't get in.
Yeah, I will send you an invite indeed. Give me a second. That's if my game doesn't decide to freeze. Apparently, it also says that I'm having low bandwidth and host bandwidth issues, which is I've never seen that before in the game, certainly. I will invite you, though.
So I don't think you actually have low bandwidth.
I've just never. Yeah, I've just never noticed that before, certainly on my end. But Cameron out on top, Rudy in second, Dutch Missile on third. Let's have a look, though, at the positions gained and lost from the first lap. Isu was already up 7 positions, along with Trinity, so great start by the ADRT driver. Of course, the Team Dictos driver there in 8th. Batuxai in 11th, also gaining 6 positions, so both Alfa Romeo up positions early. Most positions lost, however, Metiu and Izza, both losing a result of ground, and Trinity as well has just been overtaken by Denzo, and that's why, because Denzo was into the pit lane to put on a new fresh set of tyres, which I think could be the case. Is he going to go onto a white wall tyre perhaps towards the end of the race instead of hards, or actually he's waiting up for his 5-second penalty to be served? So Denzo's got a 5-second penalty into the pit lane, and back onto a fresh set of mediums he goes. So Cameron out on top, Rudy second, Dutch Missile on third, and we're still under the safety car here on lap 3.
Alright, I'm back in the game, and it does have Rudy in the correct position, thankfully. Hopefully this does not mean the same thing will happen again. But we do apologise, it's not my fault, it's completely out of my control. So, yeah, it is video games for you, they're not going to be entirely perfect.
Yeah, definitely not. Obviously, it's something that we can focus on, of course, the next week to try and improve the whole experience, of course, for you guys, the viewers, who I know are so valiantly tuned into the stream. I know we've had around 50 viewers, I think, at any one time tonight, so thank you to each and every one of you for coming in to the stream and sharing your love, of course, for PSGL. Cameron though out on top, Rudy in second, Dutch Missile in third, and looking, actually, Hasser is still in a very favourable position. Rudy and DV19, of course, second and fourth. DV19, of course, drove very well last season in PSGL. Rudy, of course, in as the safety car was actually coming in this lap. So the Ferrari of Cameron Dowd is now the virtual Bernd Marlander. He is now the virtual safety car, and he's going to be getting us underway very shortly indeed. He's going to have to back up the pack quite consistently, but he doesn't want to be too consistent because, obviously, carnage can happen and drivers can go into the back of each other if he's too slow.
Yes, indeed. So Cameron Dowd's going to get us underway once again with Rudy and the Dutch Missile and DV19 right behind him. So it is going to be one heck of a battle as Cameron Dowd waits to put his foot on the throttle. He can do that anywhere up to the control line, the finish line. He puts his foot on the throttle, and we're underway once again. Lap 4, 30 laps to go here at Portugal. The Dutch Missile is looking for a move on Rudy, and there behind him, DV19, the reigning F4 champion, coming through the first corner. Is DV19 going to get a move? No, he's not. Dutch Missile just shuts the door at the last minute as we see Joy trying to make a move on Nuth, who won Season 28 F4 Series, and now he's trying to make a move, he's pushed wide, he cannot find a move at turn number 4 as they make their way down to turn number 5, and look at this, he's going to make a dive for Will Murdoch. They're still side by side coming out of that turn. Another battle on Trinity and Betisai happening as well. Trinity gets the move there, and Will Murdoch managing to hold on to the attack from Isu. It's a brilliant midfield battle here at Portimao, James.
At the end of lap 4, as we approach it, Cameron Dowd just 5 tenths clear of Rudy. Rudy there in second, Dutch Missile in third. Really good action though, further down the field. Joey, of course, getting that move done. Isu, of course, as well, getting the move done on Menno, and Trinity through on Batuxai. So 3 moves made there on this lap alone. But Cameron leads, now coming through turn 14, and then through the right-hander of turn 15, the Ferrari is putting the hammer down. He's using up the deployment to good effect, as of course the DRS will be enabled on lap 6 if we don't get a safety car before that point. Cameron leads the way by nearly a second coming across the line. Rudy there in second, Dutch Missile in third, and actually Rudy sets the new fastest lap of the race. Cameron must have picked up an invalidation on the lap, and actually he's left the session. Cameron Dowd has left the session, and now are we having potential disconnection issues here? Cameron Dowd leaves the session from the lead of the race. Hopefully he'll be able to get back in. Somebody please send him an invite. Cameron leads the way. Rudy in second, Dutch Missile in third. Luckily for him, his AI is keeping out in front just for now.
I'm on it. I'm getting Cameron Dowd back into the session.
Oh, Marcador's round coming through turn 4 as well. So Marcador's round coming through turn 4, and he's got a T-tray pretty much on that car. Right side end plate damage on that car. So Marcador's round in the background of shot there down in 19th position. Cameron leading the way, Rudy in second, Dutch Missile in third. First 3-second penalty of the night, by the way, picked up by Will Murdoch, and Will there in seventh, of course, on that set of soft combat die. Looking for Cameron, he has managed to rejoin. His car is going on 110 AI, but Rudy is now going through him for the race lead. So Rudy now through and he's into the race lead. Where is Cameron, though, going to drop down as a result of this disconnection? He probably should come out maybe third or fourth position if he's so lucky enough to get actually back into the session before he goes in towards turn one. And actually he does, and he's right behind actually DV19, who is side by side with him, coming across the line. Rudy leading the way, Dutch Missile second, DV19 in third. DRS is now unable, and Cameron is going side by side with him, down in towards turn one. Is he going to try and get the move done? The ghosting system might come into play here. DV19 is through, and he's into P3. Cameron there in fourth. It looks like we've got a bit of a desync, certainly on our end, but what I can say, Cameron Dowds is not 19th position. He's in fourth. Hopefully the interval timings might fix themselves the next lap around.
Yeah, are you seeing 19th for Cameron Dowds?
Yep, unfortunately so. Spectator glitch, I think.
A bit of a battle between Nuff and Joey. Sorry to cut you off there, and Joey has to go wide, and Will Murdoch's on his tail right now. So let's hope this gets fixed. I hope we're not having another case of Monza. Cameron Dowds should not be in 19. Disconnection issues not here in PSGL. You hate to see it. Of course, we had the same issue last season in PSF1, and massive issue caused the race to be cancelled. Well, thanks a lot for that, internet. But anyway, Will Murdoch trying to get close to his teammate, who's trying to get close to enough, and Joey doesn't have a good penultimate corner there, and Will Murdoch has a peak, but cannot make any ground on him whatsoever as they make their way through to start lap number 7. DRS, it is now on, and now Nuff is going to try and get the move on Cameron Dowds, but he's not close enough. The Dutch Missile is on his compatriot, but he can't get it. The Dutch Missile cannot get into the lead as of yet. It doesn't seem like there has been much more battling behind.
Nuth just goes inside of Cameron Dowds. Cameron is in fourth, by the way. There's only one driver desync as far as we're concerned, so I'll try and follow that through as much as possible within this race. And actually, Cameron just sends it on the outside line in towards Torre Vippa turn 5. It's really difficult to see, obviously, whether he is a ghost or not. He is not a ghost. It looks like he's getting blue flags as well, which is obviously just, I think, a glitch on our end. But Cameron is not a lap down. He's there in P4 at this moment in time, and I'm sure he'll be classified the right result, of course, if he does finish this race. Rudy, though, leading the way. Dutch Missile in second, DV19 in third. On settling down, and has been quite a good battle further down the field. We saw Denzo pass Dan as well. He's now on the back of Izza for 15th position. Cortez there as well, on the back of Batuxa. And Batuxa, the team of Dictos driver, against the former QVR man of Cortez, of course, and the Mercedes on the back of the flying Alfa Romeo. And there's just a little bit of a break beginning to appear, I think, from 10th downwards. The Dutch Missile picks up a penalty outside the final corner. The Dutch Missile has picked up a 3-second penalty on the exit of the penultimate corner, and he is going to try again and have a run on Rudy down in towards turn 1. I don't think he is going to be close enough, famous last words, if he does try and go for the move there, but Dutch Missile doesn't, and Rudy stays in the lead for now. And I think Dutch Missile probably just working together with Rudy, saying that, and he went into the back of him.
Very close contact between Rudy and the Dutch Missile. It looked like he touched him a bit, but it looks like they've both got around unscathed, and Dutch Missile trying to look for a way to get that.
Oh!
But
Menno down the inside on of Isu. Goodness me, they were nearly forced off track, both of them. Were nearly on the left-hand side of the track, and Isu is going to get that move done on Menno, so he retakes that position. That was insane racing. I've never seen anything like that down and towards Torre Vip. And Isu Thunes into 7th. Menno there down into 8th. Menno was the one being attacked by Isu, so Isu on the inside line somehow got the traction, and it's Thunes into 7th. But look at the gap it's now created between himself and Will Murdoch. It's nearly a second.
A reminder, Cameron Dowds is in 4th, and he's still glitching around Noof. This is not what we wanted for our first race this season. Just sometimes we just have the worst luck here at PSGL, but we still try and keep calm and carry on as DV19 right behind the Dutch Missile, who is in a Haas sandwich. nearly a ham sandwich, but I nearly got my words mixed up. But here comes the Dutch missile going for a move. He can't find a way past Rudy yet, and he actually gets a great exit, Rudy does, out of turn number 1, and keeps his first position for now. Look how close these drivers are. It's Issu and Menno doing battle again, James.
Menno forced it down the inside line in towards turn 1 there. Issu though through, and he gets a little bit scribbly on the exit of turn 4, and now it could let Ron and Trinity go side by side, and Menno's going to have a sensational run down in towards Sorevip. This is full 7th position, and he's through on Issu, and he's through, and he's actually into 8th position, but Issu is still fighting back now in towards turn number 7, and then in towards Samsung at turn 8, and somehow Menno has got that move done, so he's through and he's into 7. Nice move that by the Red Bull. Issu there in 8, of course, dropped them down a position. They're actually fighting out. It's DV19!
Oh!
What a move down the inside line! He nearly switches the car round, and it's nearly 3 wide between Nuth and Cameron Dowd, who's obviously ghosted in this Forte, and Cameron now down the inside line tries to go for the move on DV19. Remember, this is 4th position. Cameron there in 4th, Nuth there in 5th, DV19 and Cameron Dowd almost looked like, well, there's a bit of intertwining, I think, between them. If you are a certain age, don't look at this. DV19 in 3rd, and obviously Nuth in behind. He's looking to try and get the move done with Joey just in behind, but obviously we just have to see what happens as Cameron now is being overtaken by Nuth. So Nuth through and he's into P4, Cameron now through and he's into down into P5, and Joey all of a sudden is in P6 and is involved in this battle.
Yeah, don't look at this to a certain age. Well, that takes at least one driver out of the equation. The gap now, though, at the top looks like Rudy has broke away. It's now 7 tenths, and the Dutch missile only gaining a couple of tenths from the DRS. But DV19 coming behind him once again, so this battle's still truly on as Cameron Dowd is back to Earth, not 19, as we have said many times before. Mark was definitely an 18, but I'm sure he's not even close to the train, unfortunately. He's just had some luck. But yes, we are going to again, by the looks of it, as they come through the middle sector.
Hopefully everyone heard that, by the way. There was a little bit of robotics, I think, going on my end, certainly from your mic. Hopefully it might not be the disconnection that we all might be fearing, but obviously, fantastic racing up and down the field. Rudy leading the way, Dutch Missile in 2nd, DV19 in 3rd, and he's getting chased down by Cameron there in 4th. Nuth there in 5th. Joey is on the back of Nuth as well, running down in towards turn number 1, but he is not going to go for the move. He's too far back, obviously, off the back. And hopefully, as I say, we are going to be getting that little bit of a connection issue fixed with Logan. Certainly, hopefully you'll be able to hear him in just a short while. Rudy, though, leading the way, 3rd of the way through the race. Dutch Missile in 2nd, DV19 in 3rd. Trinity nearly fighting side by side with Ron down in towards turn number 3, and then in through 4. Is he going to try and have the run on the Estonian? I don't think he is. The Estonian is just going to hold on, and we hold on for positions just for now as Cortez gets very close to the back of Trinity.
Yes, indeed. Can you hear me properly, just to let you know?
I can hear you properly now. It's just a little bit intermittent going robotics. That's about it.
I don't know what's happening there. It's Joey right behind Nuth. Now, can Joey make the move? He's going for it. He's going for it, but they're still side by side. Oh, and a bit of a touch as they head into the next corner. My goodness me. These drivers are putting all their elbows out, and Joey goes wide, and now Will Murdoch's right near him. The two Alpine teammates going to battle now, and Joey still somehow ahead of Will Murdoch as they come out of the final corner now to start lap number 12.
Oh, and we get pit stops. DV19 and Nuth into the pit lane. Oh my goodness me, Nuth nearly went into the back of DV19 coming into the pit lane. He's picked up a 5-second penalty. If that pit entry was just a little bit further on, Nuth would have been in the back and he would have had a front wing change. That is for certain. Goodness me, the German giving me an absolute terrifying fright, and actually he rejoins behind DV19, so DV19 will come out in 16. Further up the field, however, Issu and Menno fighting side by side once again. These two like to battle, and Menno down the inside line into 5th position, or 6th position, as you might call it, with, of course, Cameron Dowd's issue on in terms of the disconnection. But Menno through, and he's into 6th position. Issu now down into 7th, doing a fantastic job. Rudy there leading the way, Dutch Missile in 2nd. Front two now beginning to pull away, but obviously they've still got that ghosted Ferrari behind of Cameron Dowd, who I think, obviously, without that disconnect, he was doing a good job until that point, and Trinity tries to force it down the inside of Ron and through Portimao at turn 10 and now through the left-hander of 11 and in towards turn 12, and Trinity does not get that move done. However, Izza around the outside of Lewis and Denzel down the inside of Lewis. I think Lewis made a mistake there, and now he loses 2 positions for the price of 1. So, in traditional supermarket sweep terms, you buy 1, you get 1 free.
I love that show as a kid. As Rudy's coming to the pits, Rudy is going to change to mediums, I presume. Rudy, of course, was in the lead for a while after the disconnection from Cameron Dowd. Cameron is actually in second place, even though he's still showing as 19th. Better not be for as slowly but surely, because that would be traumatizing.
Isu on the back of Menno once again, down in towards Torre Vip. The Alfa Romeo down the inside of the Red Bull. He goes way too deep though, and I think Menno's going to sweep past him here. On the run through Torre Vip, he rejoins track just about alongside, and Menno now trying to go all the way around the outside of turn 7. Can he get the job done? No, he can't. Isu just about holds on to the position. He ran out wide. It was a mistake by himself. That's why he ran out wide. Try to correct the mistake. Obviously, he's side by side with the Menno, as you saw, and Isu just about stays ahead for now, and he is in P5. With obviously Dutch Missile, Cameron Dowds, Joey and Will Murdoch up the road.
Yes, indeed. As now up in the 4th, Iso, of course, he still has to make that pit stop later on. He doesn't have to do that now, though. The top 3 will have to pit, top 4, I should say, will have to pit eventually. Now, what Dutch Missile going to do? He's going to to the pit. Cameron Dowds is going to retake the lead, well, and Joey's coming in as well. Will Murdoch choosing to stay out, and Joey has a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane as Cameron Dowd's making his way through the corner very slightly.
It could be 3 wide down and towards turn 1. Menno was through for the second position. Isu there third, forced off track there by Ron, and Trinity and Cortez having a little bit of a moment that I think Trinity might have picked up an illegal overtake on Cortez, and he just dropped behind there. Cortez now through and he's into 5th, and Trinity now into 6th, and this is what we're on about. This is what we're on about in terms of having a big old DRS train here down and towards Torre Vip, and the Constantine are up now. Pretty much 8 cars going through one singular shot. That was lovely to see. Will Murdoch though leading the way. Menno there in 2nd, Isu there in 3rd. Cameron Dowds though is the leader of this race at the minute, so Will Murdoch's actually 2nd. Menno there in 3rd, and Cameron, his car is unghosted now, which I can report, which is good, but obviously he's still got that glitch. But we're trying to give you as much information as possible about where Cameron's position is. Helps the stewards, helps us in terms of track, as well as Will Murdoch has spun coming through turn 12.
Oh dear, that is not what he wanted, and he's losing positions. All the cars are coming through. He's got to concede the positions before he causes an incident. I think his tyres are well and truly gone. He has to come into the pit lane for sure. As the top 7, well, I should say top 8 actually, Cameron Dowd has pitted. I hope they fix the issues with the connection here, as Menno weaving as much as he can. Now, there is a bit of a grey area on that, but I think that was fair gain. He wasn't intentionally blocking, he was trying to break the toll that Isu would get with the DRS as they make their way through the first couple of corners. My goodness me, they're all so close together. One mistake could cause a massive domino effect. I wish we had social distancing in F1, but there would be no action, as Denzel making a move on Trinity down at the 5th corner, and I think he's got it done. Yes, he has. A brilliant move from Denzel, making his way up to 5th place as of now. Cameron Dowd, I honestly have no clue. He should be in 14th as he makes his way past Nerf. Nah, that can't be right. 15th, I should say, but Cameron Dowd still glitching, ghosting through Nuff. This is not what we wanted to see.
Yeah,
on the first race of the season.
He's technically a lap down on the rest of the field in terms of what we're seeing. He is side by side with Nuff coming through turn number 8 and then in towards Portimao at the top of the hill. But Cameron Dowd is around 14th, 15th position. He actually was side by side with Dutch Missile coming out the pit lane and nearly got him in towards turn number 1. However, with the ghosting system and playing with what we're seeing, certainly on our end, unfortunately he didn't get the move done, as now Cortez closes in on Ron. The Estonian is going to be looked to make in the rear mirror as Cortez is through and he's into P5. P3. Nice move that, down the inside and towards turn 1. Ron there in 4th, Denzel there in 5th, doing a fantastic job in behind as well. And all of this, of course, where the pit stops have been made. DV19 is going to go side by side, perhaps with Nuth running down in towards turn 1 as well. He's not quite close enough for the move. Somebody that might be, though, further up the field is Denzel, once again down the inside, in towards turn number 5, down in towards Torre Vep. Does he get the move done? The Estonian will have the traction on the outside line. Denzel, though, has got a lap pressure tyres. Remember, he's already pitted after lap 1 contact, and Ron has to dive it down the inside line to get that move done, and Denzel now is in 5th position. At least we're actually seeing the drivers in the correct positions, apart from Cameron Dowds at this point.
Yes, indeed. Denzel doing some amazing moves right now. He's trying to get past Ronzus again here at the 3rd sector as they enter it now. Menno still leading by 6 tenths for now. Of course, we don't know if he's going to be in the lead for long because, of course, he's yet to make that pit stop. And it could be anyone's game from the time he makes that pit stop. Cortez is just falling a little behind Isu as they make their way to start pretty much the halfway mark of this race. Lap 17, James.
Yeah, definitely. So Denzel on the back of Ron coming down and towards turn number 1. Of course, we saw Denzel get the move done on him last lap around. Ron catches the curb through turn 1, and he's literally there as a rolling roadblock pretty much through turn 2, and now through the right-hander of turn 3 at Sagres, and then in towards turn 4, Denzel on the back of Ron. Ron there is doing a good job, but I think it's going to be too vain because Denzel down the inside line in towards turn 5 at Torre Vip. He gets the move done on the brakes. He is a king of the late breakers, I've got to say, in this field so far. Denzel through, and he's into 4th. Ron now down into 5th, and he's now into the clutches of Trinity, Izza and Lewis in behind.
Yeah, it's just like his real-life counterpart, Daniel Ricciardo. He's making amazing late break moves, and they're paying off in dividends. Of course, Ron Deuce had a bit of a shaky entry into turn 1 and an exit as well, and lost a lot of time there, and it opened the door for Denzel to get the move done. And now he's 1 second behind Cortez, who is 3 cents behind Isu, trying to make a move on him at the straight. So it's going to be interesting to see how they fare through this straight on lap 18 coming now.
Yeah, Menno leading the way. He's pulled nearly a second actually to Isu. Isu, remember, was battling with him early on in the race, and now they're getting closed in by Cortez, because Cortez now could have a run down in towards turn 1. The former KVR man, now the Shazoo Academy driver, looks to get the move done, and Isu runs wide coming through turn 1. He has to leave the room through 2, and now through the inside of turn 3, he pulls the car alongside. The Mercedes alongside the Alfa Romeo tries to go all the way around the outside of turn 4. There's a little bit of contact. Denzel's probably looking at this and thinking, you know what, make more contact, I might get 2 positions. Isu, though, through and still into P2. Cortez backs out of that, and I think rightfully so, because that was getting borderline aggressive, I've got to say. Isu there remains P2, Cortez there in P3. Great fighting out on track, but Isu holds on to that position just about.
I still don't know what's going on with Cameron Dowd. How is he still glitching? He's made his way past Rudy a lot, apparently. He's still glitching for our screens. I don't know what is going on. As they make their way around, I believe, turn 8, if I've done my math correctly. Yes, turn 8, and then making their way up the up the crest. What's wrong? What's wrong?
I'm just looking at Cameron Dowds, and I've literally clicked on. He's in the net lead of the race now, because he's overtaken Rudy. He is under his own car and his own volition. He's gone considerably quicker, I've got to say, than Rudy and Dutch Missile at this stage in the race. And Dutch Missile, as there was a little bit of moment there, I think Joey does try to dive it down the inside of Dutch Missile, and there was a slight bit of contact between them both. Cameron Dowds, though, was pulling away from this field very comprehensively. Matthew and Rudy, though, are going to go side by side down the straight, and Dutch Missile has got the choice of possibly going for one, maybe a double toe, down the straight. Rudy is through on Matthew. Dutch Missile could follow him through as well, down in towards turn number 1 at Primera. Can he get the move done? No, he can't, and Joey falls it through the both of them, and Joey's still on the inside line. What an opportunistic move that is. Joey through, and he's into P9. Dutch Missile caught out by a little bit of contact with Nuth, and Matthew now dropping down the field as well as a result of that contact, I should say, with Dutch Missile. What an opportunistic move, and speaking of opportunistic, DV19 down the inside as well on Matthew. DV19 through and he's into P12, but Joey literally parting the Red Sea on the curb. Joey through and he's into P9. That was insane.
Joey is back, ladies and gentlemen. What an incredible move down at turn number 1 and 2, and now he's on the charge. He's going to try and go for Rudy's position as I speak. My goodness me, what's Cameron Dowd's doing? He is ahead of his... I think that's his... No, it's not his teammate. Yeah, it is his teammate, Dan. And in the net lead of the race, it should be 6th, I think. No, 7th.
Yeah.
7th. It will be 5th in a minute, though, because we have some pit stops. Iza and Denzel. Cortez pitted a few laps ago, but he actually had to change his wing, so it was a much longer stop. And he's fallen behind Izzat, 4 seconds behind Izzat. And Isu, looks like he has... Sometimes it just stays in the pits for a little long, and it just glitches back out onto the track. That is do apologise for that. As look at this, Rudy right behind Dan, but Rudy has Joy behind him. He's got no, don't do it. He's going to try and do 2 in 1. Joy is. He goes around the outside of Dan and Owen. There's a bit of contact behind Dan, and Joy gets past 1, and Dan now loses another position to the Dutch Missile by the looks of it. If he goes around the outside. But now, no.
Oh, there's front wing flying off. I think that might have been from Dutch Missile, perhaps. Yeah, right side end play for Dutch Missile, completely off the car, and he has now got damage as a result of contact, I think, with DB19, no. And DB19 threw knees into 8th position. Dutch Missile now down to 9th, possibly down to 10th, as Nuff absolutely waltzes around the outside of turn 12 and in towards 13. Matthew is now around the outside of him as well, and Dutch Missile's probably going to come in the pit lane to try and fight it. However, I think Nuff has actually got an illegal overtake, perhaps, on Dutch Missile, and he's trying to let him back through, and Dutch Missile there in P11, Nuff there in P10. Not sure what happened there, to be honest. Ron leading the way, Lewis in 2nd, Trinity in 3rd, Menno in 4th, but they've come into the pit lane, of course. Menno, of course, on that set of soft compound tyres. Cameron's dad, does it say Cameron is P19 on his screen? If it doesn't, then obviously it's going to be different, and obviously, I think a previous ruling here in PSGL, normally when the driver is desynced, however, be it on their own fault or not, it normally means they're going to be either disqualified for the race or certainly placed down in last position.
Oh, that would be a shame. It's not even his fault at all. Not even his fault, one bit. Cameron should be leading this race, in my opinion. Well, he's in 3rd right now, if we can do our math correctly. Ron Zeus is in the lead, but he'll have to pit, so will Lewis. It looks like everyone is going on to the soft tyre, including Dutch Missile, who has a penalty for, I believe, corner cutting. Some drivers have spent the pit lane and got 5-second penalties, Joy included. He's 10 seconds behind Lewis, and he's already pit, so Joy could be about to get 2nd place in the race, because Cameron Dowd, of course, is well ahead. He should not be 1 minute down on... No, that is entirely wrong. That will not be... It'll be 30 seconds now as he makes their way through the pits. But yeah, this is very weird as Rudy is now... And Lewis and Ron Zeus have pit, but Rudy trying to get past Joey somehow. Remember, Joey has a 5-second penalty, though. That could be the decisive factor in the battle for 2nd place.
Yeah, for the battle for 2nd, Rudy on the back of Joey, running down in towards turn number 5 at Torre Vip. Can he try and get the move done? Not quite. Joey leading the way in 2nd position. Rudy there in 3rd. Of course, Cameron Dowd is leading the way. But what I will say is, PSGL normally take things like this on a case-by-case basis. So if Cameron obviously can prove that he obviously he didn't desync on our screen and it's just purely a spectator glitch, then obviously he will win the race right down, because he must be around 5 seconds clear, I would say, of Joey and Rudy at this stage. And to all intents and purposes, if he does get disqualified, we cannot take away from what a great race he has had. Obviously, rejoining as part of a disconnection glitch that he had with a rocker, I think, disconnecting at the same point as him. Cameron obviously rejoined the session. That caused that little bit of a glitch, but as I say, take it on a case-by-case basis. So we don't know what's going to happen with Cameron, but what we can say, he's currently leading the race, and he's leading the race by quite a way. Rudy there in 2nd, Matthew in 3rd, and Matthew is now under pressure, actually, from Denzo, who is actually fighting up for P4, I should say. I'm even getting confused myself here. Denzo down the inside line, in towards turn number 1. He is going to get the move done, and Isu is going to fly out of the slipstream as well. The closing speed of that was epic, and Isu now through, and he's into P5 out on track. Matthew there 6th, and now further down the field. Cortez tries to go down the inside line of Will Murdoch, and Will has to be forced out wide there, doing a good job, of course, on his F3 debut here. Of course, an F2 driver last season, and he's there in 11th position. Ron there up in 10th as Matthew gets dived down the inside line by Menno in towards turn number 5. Menno is through, and he is now into P6 as well. And comments being made in the comment sections. Izra is now going side by side with Matthew and should just waltz around the outside line. That's exactly what he's done. He's through and he's into P6. Drivers will probably give the argument that he give an advantage to himself ghosting by overtaking on the racing line through the cars. I tend to agree with that, to be honest, but of course, leave it to the stewards.
Yes, indeed, leave it to Stuart. It is quite controversial. It would be a shame if Cameron Dowd's got disqualified, but, you know, he's done absolutely nothing wrong. He's done his bit. It says it's P1 on his screen, his father says, so, of course, his father, his coach, well, I say his coach, but, you know, he is in the chat. He says it is P1 on his screen, so we're just going to assume that for now, and I do believe...
I was gonna come in on that as well. Actually, Trinity is side by side with Metsu and Cortez is side by side with Will Murdoch, and they're both gonna get positions gained. What I will say, actually, if that is the case from Cameron and he's in P1 on his screen, it might be the case where we're obviously seeing Cameron down in 19th position, and it's a spectator glitch, and he gets awarded the race win. So, as I say, leave it up to the stewards, I think. But if that's the case, he might get the race win. So we've got to treat it like he is going to get the race win, basically.
Pretty much, and that is probably not going to be too confusing because we know that Cameron Dowd is the only one that's having the desync problem, and we know how far ahead he is of Joey, who has a 5-second penalty, and Rudy might be on for second place here. Rudy, of course, was a top driver last season, I believe. I didn't follow it that much, I'm going to be honest. It's been a long while. We've been on a 1-month winter break, and some, as there are a lot of penalties to be dished out after the race. I've mentioned lots of 3-second penalties. That's for corner cutting exceeding track limits. You've got to stay within bounds of the track, 3 strikes and you're out. You get a penalty pretty much. It's, you know, still all to play for in the midfield though. It's going to be an interesting finish.
Yeah, it is all to play for indeed, and I'm running board with the Isu, trying to chase down Denzel down in towards turn 1. However, Ron on the back of Matthew, of course, is going to the end of the race, I think, on that to the whole compound tyres, and he's just been absolutely blitzed by Ron down in towards turn 1. The Estonian is through, and side by side and behind, actually, Lewis goes side by side with Will Murdoch, and that on the brakes is lovely from Lewis, and he's through, and he's into P11. Cortez, I think, is let through there on Matthew, so that's for P10, in fact, that move. It's all getting a bit confusing. Treat it basically as you're seeing on the screen is what I will say. Cameron is leading out on track, and he is pulling away quite considerably from the rest of the field. Joey there in second, Rudy in third. Lewis, by the way, in terms of the penalties, Joey's picked up a 5-second penalty for spinning in the pits. Izza, Meti, Lewis, and Batuksai, as well as Dutch Missile, have got 3 seconds. Will Murdoch also on 6 seconds, along with Joey, as Lewis goes side by side with Meti, and a little bit of a slide there from Will Murdoch as well. And Lewis goes right around the outside of Craig Jones. Nice move again from Lewis, and he's making quite easy work, I've got to say, of the field, who of course on more worn tyres. Lewis through and he's into 10th, and now Will Murdoch is going to try and dive it down the inside in towards turn 13, and Matthew's tyres are absolutely shot. And do you know what, if I was him, maybe come into the pit lane and try as might and get your fastest lap of the race, but obviously outside the top 10 you can't.
Yeah, I think the gamble has not paid off, if it was a gamble, that is. But look at Rudy, he is trying so hard to try and get past Joey. I mean, he might as well not bother because he's a 5-second penalty and he's 4 seconds ahead of Denzo for third place. Well, it should be second place, I believe. Joey could lose third place as well to Denzo. He is currently within the 5-second window as Dan has retired from the race in the pit lane, which is a real shame.
That got you on the edge of the seat there, I've got to say. It looked like, I thought, certainly when you went on board with that, Dan, I thought he actually lost it through the final corner, but he's into the pit lane, he's retired the car. Obviously unfortunate for Dan, he's going to be down there in, obviously, his DNF car. His car is also going to rejoin on track, which could be quite off-putting for drivers that is coming through that section of the track very soon, but his car should be out the way by then. But Dan out of the race, the second DNF, of course, after a rocker through turn 1 on lap 1.
Yeah, something really needs to be done with that. Yeah, it says It says that Cameron Dowd is on lap 26, when it is actually lap 27. Cameron Dowd is in the lead as I speak, as he makes his way round where the stricken Dan should be. They need to fix that retired car glitch. If a car retires in the pit, it's retired in the pits. It doesn't go back out onto the track. That's the worst thing about the game. It could cause interference. As you remember here, right here in the finale of PC F1 last season, Lucas Blakely was impeded by a retiring car, and it cost him not just a race, but a points finish. So yes, it is a big problem.
Yeah, obviously we just have to commentate with what's in front of us as well, and the drivers have to race with what's in front of them as well, and obviously glitches within the game, inevitably, hopefully over time they will be fixed, as is the case obviously today with a new patch update and fixing the Jeddah pit glitch, which obviously we will be going there later on in the season. But Cameron Dowd's leading the way. His gap is still extending out. It's around 6 seconds, I think I make it, certainly from the mini-map. Joey there in second, Rudy there in third, doing a fantastic job. Denzo, however, on that set of soft compounded tyres, it's normally not the case where, on a set of soft compounded tyres, you start to close in on your rival ahead. In the case of Denzo, though, those tyres are still looking relatively fresh. He's 2.9 seconds behind. Rudy is obviously going to try and get the move done on Joey as well for second position, and they're going to be intertwined in the battle. So Denzo, through the corners, he's got a chance to catch up. On the straight, however, with the two DRS zones, of course, that this track actually has, Denzo loses around 4 or 5 tenths just in that DRS train alone, as Cortez is right on the back of Ron, coming through turn number 1, and Cortez will go on board with him, and nearly into the back of Ron. He goes through turn number 3, and then through turn 4, Cortez picks up a 3-second penalty, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. You don't want penalties at this crucial stage of the race. It could cost him possibly a points finishing position. I'd just like to mention what happened to Dan. He apparently had barge board damage at the start and he couldn't recover from there. It just ruined his race, the barge board damage, and unfortunately he'll be walking here empty-handed, and there is a car off. I do believe that is Noof. Yes, it is Noof. He's went off at turn at number 1. It's just not been his day, but Joey not in first, in second, but might be losing. He might in fact fall down to 5th because he's actually fallen into the clutches of Menno. He's just got into the 5-second window.
He has got into the... Go on.
Yeah, we are just 5 laps to go here, and look at this. Rudy wants to make the move. This 4-second position on track, not first as you can see, and he cannot get it done. So as Ron Zeus is being passed by Cortez at the first corner. Good move from Cortez, who has a penalty though, so he needs to go like the clappers as he avoids to lose any positions as they make their way through to turn number 5. And I'm having a glitch on my screen again. Apparently the mini-map is flashing on my screen. I don't know why that's happening. It's just having all sorts of problems. Is my voice fine on your end, James?
Yeah, your voice is absolutely fine. I think it's just a case of maybe a co-commentator's glitch, as we've had in the past. However, going like the clappers is Denzo. He's in P4 at the minute, out on track. Obviously, Cameron Dowd's well out in front and dominating the race. Denzo, though, he has closed considerably. It's another half a second he's gained on this lap alone. He gained a full second on Rudy and Joey. Rudy needs to get this move done ASAP. He needs to try and go for the move now. Otherwise, Denzo's going to be on the back of him. He's got fresher tyres, and he's probably going to go for the move as well, the Chilean. He's done a fantastic job, of course, here in F3 this season. Nuts, by the way, is into the pit lane, either retiring the car, certainly into the pit lane to get a front wing chain, to get, obviously, a pit stop, and that is exactly what he has done. So he's out of the pit lane with a pit stop. Ghosted car in the way of drivers might just be a little bit of a hindrance, but hopefully it is not going to be on the same level as we've seen with Cameron so far this race. Joey, though, under pressure from Rudy, coming through turn 4. Again, Rudy does not have the run, and coming out of turn number 1, there are yellow flags. I think that was just Nuth coming out the pit lane, I think. However, Izza on the back of Isu, down the inside line and towards turn number 5, and Isu moves across on him, and Izza is so fortunate not to get any damage there, because that was literally right to lem plate on the back of the rear wheel of Isu. And looking actually at how Izza is approaching through turn 8, it looks like he might actually have a slight amount of damage on that front wing.
Yeah, great avoidance, but it looks like that damage could come back to hinder him. I'd just like to mention, Denzo, I believe, made 3 stops in this whole race. He had to stop, I believe, for his for a new set of tyres. I think he might have had damage, and then he had to stop again the next lap, and has made his routine stop for softs, and it's in third place. Could be, fourth place, could be third place here, as Joey has a penalty. 3 laps to go, I should mention. Cameron Dowd's well cleared. I really do hope that Izzat's out. He's retired from the session.
Yeah, sped into the pit lane. Not sure what happened there with Izza, perhaps. He was running in quite a good position within the top 10. I think he was running ahead of Trinity, around Isu sort of area. Unfortunately, damage, as you've reported, I think, for Izza, so that's why he is now out of the race. He leaves the session, unfortunately. But Joey is under all sorts of pressure now from Rudy, and now joining the fray, Denzo in behind. And of course, Denzo, remember, he made 2 pit stops under the safety car, one on lap 2, then again on lap 3, and obviously he has served up that 2 mandatory pit stops, of course, that you can make onto a dry compound tyre, so basically softs to mediums, or in the case of Denzo, mediums to softs, as we've seen in his second stop, as Denzo now is all right on the back of Rudy. I thought soft compound tyres were not going to come alive tonight, but Denzo seems to be magically getting those softs onto the back of Rudy and into contention. Perhaps, if, of course, the stewards look at it in not in Cameron Dowd's favour, this could be for the race win.
Yeah, Denzo has worked this alternate strategy to perfection, as Joey furiously trying to defend his position for what could be second place. I don't think it's going to be second place. He has a penalty. Denzo getting very close to Rudy as Rudy gets close to Joey coming through the first corner. No moves made as of yet, but remember, after turn number 4, it's all hell breaking loose as Noof sets the fastest lap, and it looks like going to devour a point from everyone in the top 10 if there is no change. But will Denzo make a move? He's looking at an opportunity, but he decides to go against it. He's hit Rudy! He's hit Rudy at the 5th corner. I cannot believe that's just happened. Has that caused any damage? By the looks of on my screen, it does not, but you never know. It could be a different story on his end.
That was very similar to the Isu Izza sort of incident. Izza, of course, had damage on that right tail end plate. It's exactly the same. Happened again, running down towards turn Vape at turn 5, and Denzo all of a sudden is still all over the back of Rudy. Joey, as a result, gets away by 7/10 of a second. In that little melee as well, Cortez got the move done on Trinity. Further down the field, he's up into 7th position, in theory out on track. Cameron Dowds, though, is coming around the final corner to start what will be the final lap of the race here in Portugal. Trinity, however, is trying to go all the way around the outside through 14, and do you know what? He might actually have the run coming in towards Gap at turn 15. If he had a better run at the final corner, he was going to try and get the run. Denzo was on the back of Rudy as well, and Denzo now tucked within the slipstream. No EOS. Is he going to try and go around the outside of Primera in towards turn number 1? No, he can't, and Rudy stays in second. This could be for second, this could be for third, and Denzo dives it down the inside line. It's aggressive, it's late, and Rudy just holds the position. Denzo tries to get the move done. Denzo now has to try and react to this move on the outside line in towards Torre Vip at turn 5. He's much later on the brakes. Can he get the car stopped? Can he waltz away around the outside? The answer to those questions, yes, but he picks up a 3-second penalty, and it was an illegal overtake, so he might have to give that position back.
Yeah, he might have to. Don't think he's given it up yet. So, oh no, he has given it up. I think he has got the warning to give it back. So it looks like Denzo, and he might also fall further down the order, maybe down to 6, because Menno and Isu are closing in too. But Cameron Dowds, well, I'm not sure if he is the winner because he's done his job. It looks like he's first in the screen. It says 16th on our screen. Call him through, James.
Yeah, around the final corner to come across the line, Cameron Dowds wins the Portuguese Grand Prix. He still hasn't come across the line, though. Joey, however, is under pressure, and actually Rudy and Denzo are going to be nearly side by side coming across the line here. Joey has that 5-second penalty. It's Rudy who does take the win on our screen, certainly. It's Cameron Dowds who takes the win, certainly on his screen. We don't know who's won. We don't know where Cameron Dowds is going to finish in the end. Of course, the stewards will have a look into that. I am absolutely guaranteed of that. Rudy, Menno and Denzo, if Cameron Dowds have obviously to be put right down the back of the field and to finish in that 16th position, he will finish there. And basically he has finished ahead of Nuff, so he might get dropped down a position. But if that's the case, Rudy possibly has won, Cameron Dowds has won. Either way, we're going to interview them both anyways, because they've finished at least within the top 3.
Yeah, Joey, if that penalty falls from 2nd to 6th, provisionally, I know it shows a different story, but please. I have no idea what happened with Cameron Dowd. I think it would be very unfair if he was disqualified. There is nothing he could really do, but yes, Cameron looks like is my winner, but you know, it could be a whole different story in the steward's office.
Yeah, definitely. So, looking at this score, Dan, yeah, obviously had bargeboard damage at the start, and that's what messed up his race towards the end there. Driver of the Day awarded by the in-game fans is TTG Trinity. So, Trinity gets Driver of the Day awarded by the in-game fans in the Williams. Of course, we will update you next week on what will happen in terms of the result, but what we can say is we think Rudy has won the Portuguese Grand Prix. Has he, though? Has he? We just don't know. We simply just don't know. Of course, we're going to interview Cameron. It looks like he won on his screen, so we're going to invite him in. We're going to invite Rudy in. Also, we're going to invite the Red Bull of... Totally forgot. Dutch Missile?
I think it's Menno. No.
Menno?
It can't be. Who is the driver?
Joey. Joey? No?
No, Joey's in P6. I think Cameron might be disqualified, which would be a real shame because he's done absolutely nothing wrong. Yeah, it is Menno. So Rudy, Menno, Denzo. But in my opinion, it is Cameron Dowd. It's not my issue, I'm sorry, but I think Cameron Dowd's won this race.
Yeah, obviously, Stewart's going to have a look into it and we'll see.
Says he's 10th. Says he's 10th. Why does it say he's 10th on
penalties.
my screen?
Penalties.
Oh yeah, penalties. It says he's 17. No, he says he's 17 seconds down. It's even without the penalties. Yeah, it says he's 17 seconds down. Yes, this is definitely a glitch, folks. We will be looking into this as much as we can. We do apologise sincerely for these problems, though. It's completely out with our control. So yeah, oh, that is just something weird. And I think this is wrong. I think Joey only had one penalty. It says he had 2. That is, again, wrong. He had just the one for speeding in the pit lane.
It's certainly a glitch, I think, on our end. As a spectator glitch, we can only apologise for what we've actually commentated on Rudy tonight. Rudy, though, on our screen, has won. Menno in 2nd, Denzo in 3rd, Isu in 4th, with Joey in 5th. He might have picked up a penalty late on, I'm not so sure, but I think he got a duplicate penalty is what actually happened there. Trinity in 6th, Ron there in 7th, Cortez in 8th, Lewis in 9th. Cameron Dowds didn't finish in the top 10. Will Murdoch, he finished obviously down in 16th. We commentated him as if he was the winner of this Grand Prix, of course. On our screen, he's 10th anyways. Can't make it up. Will Murdoch in 11th, DV19 in 12th, Patuxai in 13th, Messier in 14th, Dutch Missile in 15th, Marcados in 16th. Nuth also finished, by the way, under his own volition. Means no one in the top 10 gets the fastest lap point on offer. Izza, Dan and Aroka all finishing, all DNFing out the race. Of course, Aroka on lap 1. Disappointing considering how much practice he did put into the race. But Rudy, we think, has won. Menno in 2nd, Denzo in 3rd. Goodness knows what has happened. Drivers are reporting, by the way, that Cameron Dowd is 10th on their screen. So, we find out next week, is what we can say without no shadow of a doubt. Find out next week, and of course, it'll probably be updated on the Twitter at PSGL, of course.
Yeah. I mean, a new update's just come out today, and there is a lot of good things about it. You can drive as your own custom team in Grand Prix, which is fun, but only at equal opportunity. It would be very unfair if you had it at realistic performance, because you can't really measure it. But yes, it's just a shame. We've just got a new update out, and the first thing we have for PSGL, it's well, I wouldn't say a complete disaster, but it's a complete shambles in terms of the results screen. This is definitely wrong, I know that. I know Rudy, Menno and Denzo are definitely top 3, but I think it should be Will Murdoch. I think Will Murdoch is right. I think Cameron Dowd should be P1, but then again, I'm Scottish, I'm not trying to be biased or anything. If there was anyone, they'd be saying Cameron Dowd as 1, because he crossed the line first. Yes, it said he was down 17th throughout the race. Remember, he did disconnect during the first few laps of the race, and that wasn't his fault. I mean, that's all out for control. It's like getting an engine failure. By the way, I cannot get off this screen. It's just stuck here. I just can't get off. Yeah, it's just the wonders of this game. It's taken 10 years to make, and hopefully EA try and acknowledge these mistakes and get it sorted for the next game, because that's a big one. New era, new track, new everything. We could see classic tracks return. But yes, something we will be looking at over the next few days. This is the last thing we wanted to start off this first race of the season.
Yeah, definitely so. Hopefully you have enjoyed the commentary, though. That is the main thing. If you've enjoyed myself and the Scottish tones, of course, of Mr. Otaku Logan, you can, of course, follow us on Twitter at TTGhead. At TTG_head is my username, my Twitter name on there. And yours is a very unfamiliar one, because I didn't know what your Twitter was until about half an hour before the stream.
Oh, sorry, I'll send that to you. I changed it for some reason because I didn't really like the name Otaku Logan. I'll plug it. It's LS41298. LS, that's the letters LS41298. Don't forget the @ sign as well. We can't have them. So yeah, are we going to get the top 3 in the interview box?
I think... as a result of obviously not knowing what the result actually is for the top 3, I think no driver interviews is probably the way to go tonight. We'll obviously obviously update you on the in terms of next week in Britain. We'll obviously update you on how all of the stewards' decisions, everything that has panned out, of course, from Portugal. We will update you, of course, at the start of the stream next week. But, of course, you can follow more action through PSGL throughout the week, and I'm going to get the Season 30 schedule up to confirm what is on what day. PCF1, Ginger Andy, and Mr. Daniel Field, my former co-commentary partner, if I have you know, on Wednesday, 7 PM UK time, of course, with all the F1 esports guys taking on that. Thursday, of course, 7 PM UK time is PSF 14 and 15. Don't think they are getting actually covered in terms of the action, in terms of commentary, but if there are, F14 and 15 are also live on 7 PM, along with PC F3, that is also 7 PM UK time, and then PC's F5 to F7 divisions, along with PS F1, F13, and PC F2 and F4, all on at 8 PM UK time as well. Sunday, of course, more PlayStation racing, F10, F11 and F12, 7 PM and 8 PM UK times, respectively for those. And then we're back, of course, next Monday, 7 PM UK time, to take in our home Grand Prix. Not Knockhill, unfortunately, for Logan. It is, of course, the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, and we cannot wait to bring you the action, of course.
Absolutely no chance it's going to Knockhill. It's a fun track, but it is way too short. It's only like, 2 kilometres. Yeah, well below the standard of 3.5 kilometres they want. Just got a message. Cameron Dowds is not a happy bunny. He cannot believe that he's lagged out. I should just mention, we're not alone in the problems department today. It looks like that F1 is having problems as well. They couldn't get off the line at all in the rain. I wonder if this is another case of Belgium, but yeah. They've had to start again because of the problems. I'm not listening to it right now, of course, because I've still got my PlayStation headset on, but I can tell they've had to make a full lobby restart, which means I actually get to watch the race. Woohoo!
Yeah,
but
you can.
It's unfortunate this has happened. You can watch it now. We do apologise for all the problems tonight. I do apologise if my voice has sounded laggy. Of course, that is just out with my control. I can only do so much. And I do apologise on James' behalf if you had any problems with his commentary. I didn't. He was loud and clear on my end, and I think I was loud and clear on your end, yes?
Yeah, pretty much so. I think 99% of the time you were, which is fantastic. Obviously,
oh, thank goodness.
Issues will happen, is what we can say as we go along throughout the season, so just be prepared to bear with us at some stage of the season. Hopefully we might ramble on as we did tonight, but that marks the end for tonight's PSGL F3 live stream. If, of course, you have liked the stream, like, comment, subscribe, tick the notification bell, of course, if you are brand new. You can, of course, follow the league on Twitter, and the Twitter handle, of course, is at PremierSameGL. That is capital P, capital S, capital G, and L for the Discord. And obviously, you can look at the website as well. You can join the Discord through the website as well. And we will be back, of course, next week, myself and Logan, taking you through all the action here for PSF3. But for myself and from Logan, what has been a very frustrating night, I've got to say. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, goodbye.
Good night.